Cloud. Okay, well, welcome to Master Series Session 4. And this is actually going to be a two-part. Session 4 and 5 are going to be getting new consultants up and running, because obviously that's a big part of our job as sales directors. As a brand new director, honestly, you were just getting people in. Your director was doing orientations, inventories. You may be had done that in DIQ. Hopefully you did some of it, but we all know that at the end of finish lines, it's get the job did. Get the job did. That's what it is. But you can't sustain your business like that. You can do that for the pushes, for a gold medal, for a car, for June, for a quarter end, for a bonus, for your new director programs. But that's not our regular practice, right? And so what I'm going to be talking about is regular practice. There's always exceptions. And when you're in those pushes, you may be getting agreements and orders right away. You may be, doing lots of creative things. As long as it's legal, it's fine. But what I'm going to be sharing with you is common practice, like just like book, coach, sell, recruit, like we know that some people recruit before you book, coach, and sell, and you don't say, oh, no, you can't sign up. You can't start your business because you need a job and you need money before Christmas because you have to book a party, and then you have to, host a party, then you have to rebook a party, and you have to buy, and then I'll let you recruit. Like, of course not. You need money for Christmas. Let's get your agreement. Let's go. Let's run. So, but this is in the perfect world, if everything looks like, how we'd like it to look, and you have time, because when you get to month end, you may be doing this all in one conversation. You may be doing, get the agreement, going through an inventory conversation, and then doing more of the orientation training packet, welcome after that, because it's 10 o'clock the last day of the month, and she doesn't want to wait 2 weeks or 3 weeks to get her products. And, etc. All the reasons. So there are the resources for this that I'm going over. My new consultant training packet that was just updated is all under new consultants on my website. And so under the director login section of my website, the passwords legacy, you'll always see the coordinating handouts with the video that will be on YouTube. But for this one, it will be in the new consultant section because all of it's already there. And then you can see the welcome video, the business strategy video, and training packet, plus the other things that I have there because I'm a director for my unit. You'll notice, though, that my welcome is more broad-based than it would have been if I was just a director. If I'm just a director and talking to my unit, I'm going to say a little bit different things. You say a little bit different things than I do when I know that I'm not only welcoming people into my personal unit, but I'm welcoming them into the national area and into the whole big, Mary Kay family. Systems, we talked about those, the second master's program. So systems are things like your welcome video, and you should have your own welcome video. Like, you can look at mine, but you want your people to see your face, and it doesn't have to be long. Like, you have to figure out, how do you video? Do you use BombBomb? Do you use Vipe Cloud, I think it's called? Do you use YouTube? How do you make a video? You can't just make it on your phone and send it to people. It's too long. So how do you make a video? Like, that's a system. You guys, back in the day, you had to do it on a phone call with every single person, and then we could record phone calls, and then people would call into conference calls. Remember, we had all the callback numbers. I had like 10 free conference call numbers that people could call in for different things. You pick how they're going to see and hear you. And you guys, it doesn't have to be the most perfect thing in the world, because stuff changes, right? Like, if you had to change your welcome video every single month, I mean, it's what, 20 minutes long, 15 minutes long, even if it's 30 minutes long. Like, don't wait for it to be perfect, because by then, something else is going to change. So it's just you being in front of them to welcome them. You also want to have the inventory conversation on video so that they can listen to it. I mean, it's best to be able to do it in person, obviously, because then people have less time to get afraid, less time to make decisions based on fear. It's like someone watching a marketing video and making a decision before you even talk to them about the opportunity. But if you're going to have 20, 25 new agreements in a month, you don't have enough time to be, doing your parties, being in front of the people that you need to for your team, for your quota sales, for your income from the sales, for your personal recruiting, to do that conversation with each person. And we all know, even a brand new director has already seen that everyone that gets a starter kit does not necessarily order. Some, company averages a third do order their first month, a third the second, a third none at all. And so out of every three, you could count on one, if their target market, women, ordering in that first month. So you need a way to get information out, because we're creating systems for where you're growing to, right? Not your new baby unit that got you through DIQ, because that baby unit is not going to maintain your car or get you to your Equinox. And if you have an Equinox, that unit's not going to get you to your Cadillac. And if you have a Cadillac unit, that unit's not going to get you to 500,000, et cetera, et cetera. It's always a process of building the next unit on top. So the systems are in place to grow into, not for where you're at right now. So you can look at my welcome video on my website, the inventory business strategies, to get ideas. As a new director, obviously, like, you do not need to reinvent the wheel. And so, like, my training packet, this was one of those strategic ideas that God gave me when I was a fairly new director, and I realized a new consultant got her starter kit, and then she'd, if she did her perfect start and power start, unless she had a significant next goal, like a career path goal, to get into a red jacket or a star level or princess court or court of sales, win a car, become a director, etc., they just like fell into this black hole. Like, I didn't even know what to say to them anymore. And even in the new consultant process, I needed handles to refer them back to. And so when a new person starts, I love the training packet, because they're like, just getting nervous and overwhelmed, it's like, go back to the training packet. Let's go down the list, step by step by step. It gives them something for them to anchor into. And I think that's even more important now, because they have access to way more information than we used to. I mean, they can push a button on Mary Kay in Touch or on my website, and literally, like, I get overwhelmed on my own website. I get overwhelmed on Mary Kay in Touch. So I know a new consultant can, or it's going to be, Susie, I need to know everything before I do anything. And she's never going to do anything, because she's never going to know everything that's on there. And honestly, she doesn't need to know everything. So as a new director, I would just take my training packet, put your information on it, or your director's training packet, put your information on it, and run with it. After you get done with your first new director program in your first 90 days, you know what you don't know, you know what you need to tweak. It's kind of like the consultants when they start. We give them the perfect start and power start dialogue, right? We give them the script to get their pearls, their 15, I do 15 interviews, 5, 5, and 5, because we're working with company averages. We're teaching them how to, Mary Kay math. But we give them specific dialogues. And when they do it, by those dialogues, then by the time they get done with their power start, they know what they don't know and they know what they want to tweak. Those who choose to not play by the rules of the game, I've never seen it work, ever. Like, I've seen some people, because they have a super supportive warm market, sell a bunch of stuff and maybe recruit some people, but there's no sustainability. They didn't get bookings from bookings. They didn't get referrals. They didn't do the 4-point recruiting plan. And maybe they went through their list of 20 to 40 people and got no bookings at all because of what they were asking. And so as a new director or a seasoned director that wants to grow another unit on top of your unit, look at this as, is this going to support me growing to where I want to go? And it doesn't have to be the most perfect video, the most perfect training packet. you get this in place. We're going to work on the inventory conversation today, and then next week some more, getting new consultants up and running. But then as you go along, for every 10, like 10 parties is a power start. At that point, you are pretty good at doing a party in person. 10 parties on Zoom, you're good at doing parties on Zoom. 10 parties on Facebook, a director doing 10 success meetings, 10 orientations. It takes 10 of anything I've found to even know what you don't know. We want to do a good job because we're women who, whatever we do a good job with it. But it takes practice. It takes evaluated practice. And so know that by the 10th new consultant orientation you do with target market people after you're in DIQ, or as you're going through this master's program, at that point in time, you are going to be much more aware of what you want to tweak, what works, what doesn't, and customize it to your style and where you are headed. The new consultant orientation process, honestly, starts far before she signs up. It starts in the recruiting process. Because in the recruiting process, if you've done the 4-point recruiting plan, where we say, and if you need a refresher on that, go to boot camp. Go to boot camp where I talk about the 4-point recruiting plan. Go to the recruiting series. All that's on my audio training on YouTube. And re-listen and do a refresher course on that. But Mary Kay said there's a new Mary Kay beauty consultant at every appointment. So I love it. When I just have 1 or 2 people, I'm like, okay, who is it? Or one, all right, I guess it's you. I mean, that Mary Kay said there's a new one at every appointment. But I'm also sharing, who am I looking for? That list that I shared a couple masters ago, who am I looking for? I'm also like, where are we going? Like, where are you going? Are you going to your pink Cadillac? Are you going like a new director? You told people, I need 5 more people to finish my unit. Why do we stop after that? People jumped on board just to help you out. And Daleen White signed up to help Mary Kay Ash out, one of the first 9 consultants, and we know she's our lineage. Aren't we glad that she signed up just to help out? I see pictures right now of directors on the screen that only signed up to get their stuff at cost, and they're sales directors for decades. I've had as many people sign up for personal use that plug into the systems, and I do inventory and orientation exactly the same way with everyone, with every single person, because that's our job as their business coach. Don't decide for her. She's not going to get the information until she decides she's not personal use. I'm so glad that Debbie didn't make any choices for me. She told me the whole big picture of Mary Kay and then let me pick what I wanted to do and choose and put my, Mary Kay buffet together. But when you're sharing, who I'm looking for, where I'm going, what's in it for her? What's in it for her? Mary Kay said, everyone has a sign around their neck, make me feel important, or what's in it for me? What's in it for her? I mean, products at cost for Christmas, that could save her a lot of money. Depending on when you're listening to this, like right now in October 2021, all you have to do is turn on the news to know what's going on with inflation in our economy. This is something I started talking about 6 months ago. When gas prices go up, everything goes up in the United States. Everything. Food, they're saying that this is going to be the most expensive Thanksgiving dinner in the history of the United States of America for US citizens. So you guys, lots of people not only could use an extra $500 a month, they need it. They need it to pay basic bills, not for Christmas shopping. They need it for bills. So what's in it for her? The free car? You guys, that saves people so much money when you're paying triple, quadruple for gas of what you were 3 years ago. That could, really save a family. A single mom, it could make all the difference in the world. A college student, all the difference in the world. So what's in it for her? And then, the resources that are available to her so that she's hearing, like, how does she get trained? Like, making this sound easy, that she can do it around her life, and the resources. We're trained by women who are trained by Mary Kay Ash. Everything's on audio download on YouTube. Everything's on video. Everything's on Mary Kay in Touch. You know, making it so they're not worried about where am I going to get my customers? How am I going to do this? Like, you're going to be resourced in everything. You're not going into specifics, and you're not training her if she hasn't even signed up yet, but you are telling her what's available. You guys, that process of recruiting someone is very different than, will you do a $30 e-start to get your stuff at cost? Do you understand what I'm saying? When people only recruit people, and again, I know right now you're going for your gold medals. So a $30 e-start and them Christmas shopping, do that to be in front of Kathy Hello. Do that to get your unit done. Because out of those 5 that do that, 1 will end up doing something in her business. The other 4 are going to save money, and that is a big deal in this economy. But when I see that people continue, that's the only way they recruit, are $30 e-starts or personal use, and then they're frustrated that no one's a star. They're frustrated that no one shows up at meetings. They're frustrated that no one's doing anything. Like, the new consultant training process, you start it in the recruiting process. Does that make sense? It's a different way of thinking about what are you as leaders saying at your skincare classes, at your parties, at your unit events. You have to be the people who start this, because your consultants aren't going to do it this way. This is a leader's job, is to make sure that the orientation, the inventory piece, the goal setting piece, the we make money selling this product piece is done in the recruiting process. So let's talk. I want to define some things for you, because in the new consultant orientation training process, I say welcome. I'll talk about a welcome. I'll talk about an orientation. I'll talk about an inventory conversation and new consultant training. And sometimes we mix those all up, right? Like, they're all together, like orientation and new consultant training. Like, I want to, when I say those things, I want to define what I mean, because that may help you be able to figure out the systems, like where there may be a missing link or where something needs to be instituted. So a welcome is ASAP, like as soon as that agreement goes in, like hours, no more than hours. It can't be days. And that is your video. That is something a virtual assistant can do. As soon as an agreement goes in, she's sending that out. Welcome to our unit. Here's the welcome video. Here's a business strategy. Here's the training packet. And I always like to give them something to text me in 24 hours. Because if they're your personals, that's one thing. But as your business grows, your recruits have recruits and they have recruits. I mean, that is such a fun part of being a director. It's such a breakthrough when actually an agreement comes in that you didn't even do the interview for. And then you get to the point where actually an order comes in that you had nothing to do with. And then a star order comes in that you had nothing to do with. Like, those are breakthroughs as a sales director. But the welcome, it has to happen fast. The shorter time frames are in between them trying the product and the interview, the more likely chance you have that they will make a decision based on fact versus fiction, faith versus fear. The less time there is between the agreement going in and that welcome getting to them, the more likely it is that they will make a decision based on fact versus fear and faith versus fear, fact versus fiction. The less time between the welcome and the orientation. The orientation is when you actually talk to them. So you're getting to know them. If they're your personal recruit, obviously that doesn't take as long, because if she's been a hostess, if you've known her through life, that may not take as long. But with your recruits, and as you're building a unit, I treat them all as my own. Like, there's not a first line, second line, third line, fourth line consultants. I am not letting my consultants be responsible for recruiting and training unit members until they're sales directors or DIQs. And then I'm earning while they're learning, because I'm mentoring them and discipling them. It's apprenticeship. DIQ's apprenticeship. And so you do not give that responsibility over them. It's your business. Mary Kay pays you to be the sales director. That's your responsibility. So the orientation is getting to know her personally and then going over the training packet and the next steps so that she knows what the next steps are. The inventory conversation, it's actually included in the orientation. So inventory, unless it's the last day of the month and you need to do it right now for a deadline or for a need, that she has, or, a flat out business need, then the inventory conversation is done with the training packet. It's part of it. So today we're going to do that inventory conversation, but that I would have gone over already with her in the training packet, the power start, the perfect start and power start. So, she is, she knows that she's taking that list of 48 names. She knows she's using a script. She's booking. Is she going to be doing virtual and live? Is she doing one or the other? What are you equipping her for? The script is the same. The numbers are the same. She gets to decide, is she, want to do this in person or virtual or a combination of both? And then you're going to point her to, what are you doing? Most likely, you're going to be pointing out what you're doing. Please don't be telling her things to do that you haven't practiced yourself yet. There's no sense telling her about Post My Party if you have no idea how to do Post My Party. So if you want to recommend that, you need to do 10 Post My Parties so that you know how to do that. If you're recommending Zoom, do 10 Zooms so that you can. And I always love when I had to learn a new flip chart, a new way to do a skincare class, because my dialogue has been for 35 years exactly the same. Instead of saying I'm a brand new consultant, I'm going into a leadership training program. The company just launched, a virtual skincare class on Zoom. Is there any reason why you couldn't help me out? I need to do this to be able to train my people. You would be helping. You get blank for helping me out. It's hostess credit. It's a skincare class. It's the same dialogue over and over again. Just you're at a different place and you're asking it for a different reason. And so with the when you've gone over the training pack with her and the inventory, you're talking about the perfect start and power start, because that's how they learn to sell the product. And then the pearls of sharing, that's how they learn to share the opportunity. And then inventory, those are the 3 legs on the chair that makes your business strong. If one of those legs are missing, it's like a 2-legged stool. They're going to fall down. It's not the rowboat being able to go forward. All 3 of those things are happening at the same time. It's not inventory, wait to book, inventory, wait to recruit, or book, and then wait to do the inventory. And then, do you guys understand what I'm saying? It's not or, it's all at the same time. So it's all mixed together. It's part of getting your business launched. And so I've gone over the perfect / power start. I've gone over the pearls. So when I do this inventory conversation that I'm going to role play with you now, it's all combined, and it backs up. It's one of those 3 things versus separated. So there's the welcome, there's your orientation, which the inventory conversation is part of, unless the time doesn't allow it. And then there's new consultant training. And so new consultant training live at meetings could be modules that you do every single week. Virtually, we have boot camp. So, that's what I direct people to. And now that it's on YouTube, we don't have to get CDs out. We don't have to get flash drives out. Thank you, Jesus. Oh my gosh, technology has been such a great friend. That saves me so much time and so much money, and does the same for you. And they can be directed right to that. You have a virtual assistant that manages, you may have a Facebook group or a Voxer group just for new consultants in their Great Start time period that a virtual assistant can manage, because people in their Great Start time period have the same conversations, right? And then once they're done with their Great Start time period, they can, be in the unit Facebook group or unit Voxer group. But I try and match up what I'm doing in the virtual world for the things that were successful in the natural world. And so I always wanted to keep new consultants separated in training from seasoned consultants as long as possible, honestly, because some of the seasoned consultants really made it look hard to get one party booked. And they're making it look really hard when it's taken them 10 years to get into their red jacket. And so I had new consultants separated from seasoned consultants because then we could manage the conversations. It's different conversations. So it's just like, with your kids, like when your kids are little, I didn't let my kindergartners sit in conversations that I would with my high school kids. It's different conversations. So figuring out how to do that virtually, I think is important. Boot camp, Facebook groups, Boxer groups, and having virtual assistants that keep track of all that for you. Some virtual assistants do postcard systems too. Like every week, the new consultants get something different, or e-card system. So we're going to do the focus right now on the inventory conversation. So something that I want to say before I start this conversation is that Mary Kay's plan, the closer we stay to Mary Kay's original plan, I have found your business is the most successful. And so Mary Kay gave us the opportunity that we get to have products on hand. Not that we have to, we get to. That's very different. In most direct selling companies, they don't get to. It's not even a possibility. You always are shipping every single order with shipping on every order. So we get to, because Mary Kay knew that you could sell more if you had it on hand. And even when you're doing virtual, what I have found, because in the beginning, I think everyone thought, well, we'll just drop ship everything. And Mary Kay dropped the shipping charges. But then we started to realize, gosh, I could pirate ship stuff myself for less. And if there's a fire in a distribution center, if I have the products, then my customers don't have to know that there's a delay, and I don't have to be frustrated, and my consultants don't have to be frustrated because it's delayed because of weather, season as we head into the holidays, a fire. When I started my business in Douglas, Arizona, it's 4 hours south of Phoenix. And so things would come from California in refrigerated trucks, because in the summer it was so hot, the products had to come in refrigerated trucks or they'd melt. So it would come in refrigerated trucks to Phoenix and then come down to Douglas once a month, one time a month. So when people are talking about supply chain delays and all these things, I'm like, I don't know. I did Queen's Court of Sales and won my car and half didn't speak a word of English, and I could get products once a month for 6 months out of the year. So you just figure it out, right? Everything is subjective compared to what you're comparing it against. So, once a month, you had a plan, what you had on hand. If I was doing Queen's Court of Sales activity in person and delivering on the spot, and it wouldn't come in for another month, you had to have the products on hand. So I think supply chain, there's stuff going on, right? And Mary Kay in Touch tells you those things. But if you have products on hand, then you can service your customers the Mary Kay way. And so I think product on hand is even more important than it was prior. And, our job when we're doing a new consultant orientation and as you're coaching your consultants is to be their business coach. You're their business coach. And so you definitely, in the inventory piece of it, I sat down with Debbie Moore at her house and went over the inventory conversation. I'm kind of grateful that I didn't have a video to watch because I think I would have freaked out because I signed up with a post-dated check. So that means I didn't have the money in my checking account. So that meant that I had more month than income coming in, more month than money. The working poor, I think they call that now, which is a lot of the United States of America right now. And also, too, I had a lot of credit card debt. I was doing this to get out of credit card debt. And so the thought of creating more debt to get out of debt was very countercultural. Like that didn't make sense to me. But when she sat down and explained it, like I'm going to go and explain it to you right now, and how the money management worked, and that I was going to be making 50% on this loan, the interest is a tax deduction, and I'm going to use that extra money that I don't have in my budget right now. I'm going to use that money to pay off my consumer debt where the interest is not a tax deduction, that made sense because that's a business plan. That's a strategy. That makes sense. So not having product and having to build up inventory and investing hours and not paying that down, that was not a good business strategy. That was a hobby, or that did not make sense when I was working 80 hours a week. I was not doing this for fun. I thought it was going to be fun and I was excited about it, but this was not a hobby. It was not, it was a business. And so that made business sense. So if you're scared of talking about money with people, if you're worried about being pushy, you guys, I want you to ask the Lord to share with you why. Because people bring their family's money history into their lives. And there may be some things that need to be weeded out, displaced, so that you can learn afresh that money is not, it's not personal. It is an inanimate object. It is a piece of paper that you exchange for a product or a service. And if you misuse it, it could become very uncomfortable, your financial situation, but that's not money's fault. That's your fault. So you have to learn different ways, but you don't want to, when I'm doing a recruiting interview, I'm recruiting for Mary Kay Corporate. When I was a brand new consultant, I could recruit someone to be a national sales director before I'd made a dime, because I wasn't recruiting for what I'd done. It was not me. I wasn't recruiting them into Dawn's opportunity or Dawn's experience or Dawn's track record. I was recruiting them into Mary Kay Ash's company and her mission and her marketing plan. Thank goodness. Otherwise, we'd never build our business. I was sharing her product that matched their needs, not what I could use or couldn't use, what I preferred or didn't prefer. No, I was sharing the products that met their needs. And the same thing with the inventory conversation. You are matching up what they want to do with the business to your best business advice for them, and then see what they do with it. Just like with skincare. I mean, people will tell you, they don't wash their face, and you're looking at their skin and you're saying, I believe it. You may need to use a moisturizer. You may need to exfoliate. Charcoal mask could do wonders, but you could do your best job teaching them and meeting their needs, and they still don't get on skincare. It's not personal. You can do the best job sharing with them the benefits and what matches their needs. So matches their needs means that it is not generic. It doesn't mean that everyone starts with 4,800 or 7,200 and that's good and 600 is bad. Like that, it's not good or bad. It's like what matches their needs. But if you're worried about what they're thinking about you, or that if you suggest this, what is she going to think? Or is that she just said personal use, so that'll be pushy? What I have found is that the women who are the most concerned about being pushy are pushy because they're determining what information they give to a new consultant or recruit prospect. You're pushing them into seeing things how you do, and that's pushy. And people don't, Mary Kay knew, women love to buy, they don't like to be sold. That's manipulation, honestly. Your job is to flat out share the facts, ask questions, find out what her needs are, and share with her how this business can meet those needs. And then you see who's willing to do something with that, who's being coachable. That's how you tell what the soil conditions are. That's why one orders their first month, one the second, and one none at all. The other, that last one that never orders at all, like she's not even getting her products at cost. I'm not really even sure why she got her starter kit, but she's not being coachable. You just need to know where to invest your time. A star order isn't, necessarily good, and someone not ordering is not. I want to know who's coachable. And this person that does a star order, then I want to see if she's continuing to be coachable so that she's going to sell it. Because having it sit on the shelf and just boost my production for 1 month is not the goal of this. I want her to be a star this quarter and next quarter and next quarter and next quarter, making money. If we teach people how to make money and they're making money and they see cash flowing, they're going to stay in the business And that's, when you start to grow by multiplication versus just addition and addition, because people who are making money recruit people that want to make money. People who are selling this product and paying bills with what they make. We make money. That's one of our 5 things, right? We make money selling this product. And when people make money selling the product, no one can convince me that you can't pay bills selling this product. You don't have to be a director to pay bills and pay a mortgage, because I have as a consultant. And so as a new director, if haven't paid bills yet, then do yourself a favor. Get yourself on track for Queen's Court sales. Pay bills, pay the mortgage with the sales, new sales, not reorders, new faces, not just holiday sales. All those extra reorders, holiday are extra, but new faces, target market new faces that grow skincare customers. Because if we're going to have the dollars coming in to pay the bills, we want residual dollars coming in from skincare that's being reordered. So, you guys, I love the Great Start program. I love that all the pressure doesn't have to be in that first order, but you do not talk about Ready, Set, Keep selling until you're done with her first order. It's too confusing. It's too much information. It's just like with the career path. You don't have to go through every single thing that they can make money for, because I guarantee you, by the time you got to that elite team leader, you would have lost me. We make money selling the product, team building, leadership. Those 3 things, you don't have to define them anymore, because if she's not going to come in or she's not going to share the opportunity, it doesn't matter to her anyways. So the Great Start, I love. You can have an assistant track that. She can recognize that. She can encourage people on to the next step. She can do recognition and reminders. It's Ready, Set, Sell first, and then once they order, we go into the Ready, Set, Keep selling. In the training packet, I've included the inventory worksheet. I love that. The chart that goes over, it's on page 4. So the chart that shows them, the different inventory orders and then what they get from the company. So it includes the first 15 days. It includes their first 2 months. And then, the Great Start program, or the Ready, Set, Sell program, obviously now is the first 4 months. So I need to find Lisa. Where is she? Oh, right here. I'm looking right past you. Okay. I'm in a spotlight because I'd like to introduce you to our new consultant, Lisa Errington. Okay, and then I'll spotlight myself. Okay. So I know you guys are so excited to meet Lisa. She just got her Mary Kay business started, and she was recruited by Cindy Fournier. And so I don't really know Lisa that well, because I met her on a virtual party that Cindy was doing, and I popped in. I was sharing marketing there, and Lisa just got her business started. And so we're going to do her inventory conversation. So Lisa, and so I'm just going to talk to Lisa like I would if I was talking to Lisa as a new consultant. So Lisa, share with me. I know Cindy, you hosted a party for her. You decided to start your Mary Kay business. Why? What do you want to see happen in your Mary Kay business? When I say seeing your business, I know there's a lot of intangibles in this: the culture, the personal growth, spiritual growth, girlfriends, etc. But I want to talk about the financial piece with you right now. I want to be your business coach right now. So financially, what would success look like to you in your Mary Kay business? How many dollars would you like to or need to make from your Mary Kay business?
So what really intrigued me was the opportunity of being able to make like what you wanted and being able to, design that kind of around a busy lifestyle. So in all honesty, I think if I could just make an extra $300 a week right now, that would be very helpful. That would actually contribute to our groceries right now, because groceries have just skyrocketed. So just to have that extra with 5 in the family and a puppy would be phenomenal, to have an extra $100 a week.
So $300 a week profit means you're selling 600 a week retail. So, I mean, very conservatively, if you did 3 parties a week, I think that that would be very realistic, possibly with 2 if you're working in the target market, but I'd always rather put you in a win-win situation. So 3 parties, are you planning on doing your business virtually and in person or one or the other?
Well, the party that I did with Cindy was virtual, and that was a lot of fun. But she did mention to me that we could still work in person. So, to be honest, with me being brand new, I think I'd like to explore maybe both options.
Awesome. I'm going to recommend in your training packet that you have where it talks about the perfect start and the power start. I'm going to recommend that you do those perfect start virtually and a perfect start or perfect start in person, and then a power start virtually and a power start in person. Because in Mary Kay, 10 of anything is going to get you to the point where you know what you don't know or you're competent. And I bet you're the kind of person that likes to know what she's doing and likes to do a good job with it.
Yes, that's true.
So 3 parties a week. So is that something that you're willing to invest the time into? 3 Mary Kay parties a week.
Yes, yes, because like Cindy also shared that doing the virtual is, I mean, easy because you can kind of be running a party while you're doing other things as well. You
Hmm.
only really commit maybe an hour or so to like the live portion if you're doing
Hmm.
it via like Facebook, like I saw her do.
Hmm.
Um, and then she suggested that I could also hold like a party by bringing guests to meeting on my
Hmm.
meeting night. So
Hmm.
I thought, that would be kind of cool. And, doing it while
Hmm.
I'm investing that time anyway. So I don't think 3 parties would be hard. Again, with you being very new, I've heard you say you don't know what you don't know yet.
Hmm.
So yeah, but I think I would like that to be my goal, to be able to do that, to be able to make that profit of $300, like you just mentioned.
Okay. Something I want you to do, if you haven't already, this weekly plan sheet that's in the training packet, I want you to fill that out and then take a picture and send that to me before your head hits the pillow tonight, because I want to see where your 3 parties are going to be. Like you said, success meeting, virtual, in person, because then when you're using your perfect and power start scripts, you can tell them what the options are. Is it in person, local, or is it going to be virtual because they're out of town? And you can give them those options, but I want to see where those are going to be on your calendar. And a whole 3 parties a week, that's 12 in a month. You're probably going to want to book 20 in a month because then you leave room for, cancellations to happen because they're going to happen, right? Also, too, the 300 a week is profit is a need. There's another form I'd like you to fill out. It's called a dream calculator, and that's also in your training packet. And it looks like this, a dream worksheet. I would like to have you fill this out also and send me a picture of it because I want to not only know what you need, but I want to know what dreams this could help finance also. Because, I mean, that's really the stuff that keeps you going are the things that, the dreams that you want to finance, because that probably involves your husband and your kids, future family, etc. The On page 3 was the worksheet, inventory worksheet. When you filled that out, what did it suggest to you as far as how many points you have? It's from 2 points up to 13 points. What did your
Um,
worksheet say?
it came out to 7 points.
7. Okay. So 7 points is 1,800 wholesale. And honestly, if you're doing the amount of activity that you're doing, you're probably going to need more like 3,600 or more, but 1,800 will probably get you through your perfect start to at least have skincare for the people, because that's the main goal is to have skincare for people.
Okay.
So I'm going to share with you how the inventory works and money management works. Have you thought about how you'd like to buy your inventory or having product on hand or not? Have those thoughts already been swimming around in your head?
Um, I'm aware of it just from a little bit that Cindy shared with me, but to be honest, not really. So I guess that's why I was excited about,
Okay.
having this call with you today so that you could kind of lay it out on the line because,
Hmm.
yeah, just I think I am a little nervous about
Hmm.
that and about
Hmm.
investing that, especially because it's just, not hanging around in the bank account right now.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
just wanted to kind of, yeah, see or just hear more about that
Okay.
before getting thoughts going in my head.
Yeah. So the good news is that most people who start Mary Kay businesses don't have the money sitting around in their account, and they don't have a money tree in their backyard,
Okay.
because most
Okay.
people are doing this to make money, to make extra money, right? Extra
Right.
money or full-time money. So you are not alone. You're not alone in feeling uneasy with it because it's new. I mean, have you ever had a job that you went to and you had to do on the job training? Like you went into it and didn't know what you didn't know. They had to train you to do the job.
Yes, absolutely.
So same thing here. You're going to be trained how to do that. Managing money and managing inventory is part of what you're going to be trained on also. That's all part of being successful in Mary Kay. Um, but up front, I'm going to tell you, you do not have to have product on hand, but we get to. Mary Kay was in direct sales for 25 years. And so she knew that if people could have product on hand, I mean, I'm sure you were probably excited at Cindy's party that she could drop ship you, or you could go over to her porch, or she could drop things off immediately to you.
Mhm.
And so we get to keep products on hand. That's something is really a huge benefit. But Mary Kay also knew that most women would feel like you do, like, I haven't done this yet. Like, I don't know how it's going to go. And she didn't want women to say, well, I'm going to see how it goes and then I'll get products on hand, because seeing how it goes without products is called an order taker. Order takers make far less than business owners who have products on hand. Because if you're doing business in person and they can walk out with it, they naturally will buy more. If you're doing it virtually and you can QVC it and you have all the products to use on your face and laying out there and in the shelves behind you, they know you're a business owner, they buy more. So she wanted to make sure that if you were going to give it a shot, you're really giving Mary Kay a shot, the full thing, like the business owner Mary Kay, not the order taker Mary Kay. Does that make sense? But she didn't want you to be scared. So she gives us a 90% buyback policy. So on this chart here, it goes over the different wholesale levels. So your inventory worksheet recommended a Sapphire Star. It says Star because you every quarter that you do at least 1,800 wholesale, you get to pick out very cool prizes from Mary Kay, and they just enhance that program. So you're going to want to take a look at that on In Touch and figure out what you want to get, because there's family vacations, there's big, cool, awesome things. So check that out. But it shows you in your first 15 days, when you are ordering at least 600 wholesale, you're getting a free color look. So between what came in your starter kit and the color look, you have Mary Kay totally on your face for free. And then it shows you the bundles, the free product you're getting. And so, like within 1,800, you're getting over $555 of bonus bundles from the company, the $129 color look, $684 of free product. If you decide to get out of Mary Kay, the company's going to buy back any products you purchased in the last year, the last 12 months, at 90% of what you paid for it. So you're risking $180 for an $1,800 wholesale order. You're not risking 1,800. You're risking $180, which with the price of groceries and kids, you probably spend that at the grocery store in one
Yes, I
stop,
do.
and you don't even have enough for a couple meals. So you're risking $180, but if you will sell the product that Mary Kay gives you, you're still, you've paid for your starter kit and your 10% risk. And Mary Kay is not going to do a credit check on you. They're not going to look at your financial situation. They're not going to look at, have you been a good money manager or not? Have you ever been in direct sales? Do we think that you're a good risk? No. This is how much Mary Kay believes in women, that she's going to back you 90% to start your business with product. And down the line, they still, every 12 months, whatever you've ordered, you could always take advantage of that. So do know though that they have to burn it when they take it back, because you don't want to sell products that someone had in their trunk down in Georgia when it was 100 and 550 degrees in August. So they have to burn it. So you can only take advantage of the buyback policy once in your Mary Kay business. But I'm so grateful that Mary Kay knew women well enough to know she didn't want them to not do this because they were scared. She didn't want us to make decisions based on fear. She definitely wanted us to make decisions based on faith. So this just shows you the different inventory amounts. You get the most bang for your buck on your initial order. Right now, we're at the end of the month. And so I'm going to encourage you to take a look at this and to make a decision so that your order could go in by Saturday. It's Thursday right now. Because Sunday's the last day of the month. The company gets 90% of their orders the last day of the month. They do not open up the new month's orders for the first 6 or 7 days until the previous month's orders have been shipped out. I don't want you waiting till the 3rd week of November to have products on hand, because I want you making $300 a week right away, because you can start to do virtual parties right now. You can do them tonight, today. You don't have to wait. And in fact, you want to. We want you sharing the product so that product and cash is exchanging hands, because that's where your confidence comes in. I'm confident. I've built my business for quite a while. So you can ride on my confidence until you have your own, but you only get it through activity. People buying the product and you depositing money into your account or running their credit card through ProPay, etc. So share with me for your order. I know we talked about there's no money tree and the 1800 isn't sitting around. How would you get your hands on that money? What are your thoughts on that?
I would probably need to put it on a credit card.
Okay. And do you have a credit card that you could put that whole order on?
Maybe part of it, if it was that amount, if it was 1800, I might be able to put part of it on that card. Unless I do what I guess, would I have to get another card, or what would be your suggestions to be able to have the full amount?
So on that chart, if you look over on the right-hand column, it tells you the estimated total, because you pay tax on the retail, because you're going to collect that from your customers. But we don't have to submit that to our state governments or to 50 states around the country. Mary Kay Inc. does that for us. So you're going to pay tax on the 3,600 retail plus the bonus product you get, because that's what you'd collect back from people. So it would be like around $2,300-ish. On Mary Kay in Touch, we could go on right now, and there's a place that you can apply for a credit card that it's not Mary Kay loaning you the money, but they have a relationship with the bank. And they're going to tell you right away if you're getting approved or not. Also, I've seen women use a credit union, ask for increased limit on their credit card. I've seen women sell things. I've seen women ask for family to invest. I've seen them use a mom or an aunt or someone else's credit card. As long as it's not a stolen credit card, the company doesn't care whose credit card it's on. Because you're going to, once you have your products in, let's say, okay, you have a party and you sell $200. 100 covers the cost of that product to give your customers. The other $100 is profit. And so what I did from the very beginning is the first party that I did, that profit, at least $100, was going to pay down my Mary Kay credit card. And then the other $100 has to replace that inventory. So I'm not embezzling for myself, right? I'm replacing it because we want to keep it at 1800. We're probably going to want to reinvest some, because you're going to find, as you run low, things that you want to have extras of. So your next party.
Mm-hmm. So there's a chance, so you don't have to pay off the whole investment at one time. You would pay it off so I wouldn't have to worry about oh my gosh, I got to sell $1,800 in 1 month. I mean, I know that could possibly happen, but if it doesn't.
No. And Lisa, what I would encourage you to think of is you're starting a business. So this is not a consumer debt. I'm going to
Okay.
teach you to think like a business person. If it was a consumer debt, you're right. You'd want to pay it off ASAP because the interest is not a tax deduction and it's a debt. This is not a debt. You are investing in your business. So, have you ever known anyone that has a restaurant or a clothing store or a car dealership? They have a business, a gym, lemonade stand, whatever. They invest on the front end, and every month they're paying the interest and paying the debt down. But then, like for instance, in Metro Detroit, these auto dealerships are millions and millions of dollars. They didn't wait till they had extra grocery money to buy a car. And then when someone bought one car, then they buy two cars. No, they went to the bank and they got a substantial line of credit. They sell, they pay that down every month, and their family lives on the profit very nicely, many times for generations. And so even though, this is a minimal amount on this inventory chart, you see like the most that someone will be putting in is under $7,000. Honestly, there's businesses that $7,000 is their interest for a month.
Uh-huh.
So this is a tiny amount of money, but it's still not a consumer expense. And so that's a huge part of my job as your business coach, is to teach you how to think like a business owner versus a consumer, a business owner versus an order taker. Order takers and consumers make different choices, as they should. Business owners make different choices. And so I know you've never been a business owner. And so we're going to teach you because we want you to be successful. You not being successful, not making your $300 a week, packing your stuff up and sending it back. I'm going to invest time and I'm going to get charged back on that. So I'm going to lose on it. As I showed you, if you take advantage of your bonuses, you're not going to lose anything. I'm the one that's at risk here. So time is your most important commodity. You can get your money back. I can't get my time back. And so where I invest my time, I'm very particular. And you can understand that because I have a family too.
Mhm.
And this income from this pays the mortgage. It put my kids through college. It's paying for fill in the blank. So I guarantee you, you're going to have all the resources and all the support. I'm not going to do the business for you because it's your business. I want it to be your business. I'm not going to do anything that's going to enable you, but I guarantee you, I will equip you and I'm going to be your best cheerleader. And I encourage you, let me be your cheerleader. If your husband's never successfully built a Mary Kay business, he honestly can't give you sage counsel. If your mom hasn't, she can't either, nor your coworkers or your friends. And so share with them all the exciting fun things you're looking forward to. But as far as business decisions go, I really encourage you to come to me as your sales director because I've already built a successful Mary Kay business and I know you want to build a successful one too. So I know that you have to go because you said that you only had so much time. So what I would love for you to do is that weekly plan sheet. I want you to fill that out because I want to see when you're going to be building your business. I want you to look through this inventory and rewatch now that business strategy video because it probably will make a little bit more sense now. My welcome and strategy video, rewatch those. And then I want you to look into your resources and figure out, because I want to see you get resourceful. I'm looking for women who are going to find a way or make a way. And I believe that you're one of those people. And so right now it is 11 a.m. What would be a good time that I should expect to hear back from you, that you would have time to look through this and think about it today? What would be a good time later today?
Um, I have a commitment this evening at 6, so I'm usually done with that at 9. Is it too late to call you on my way home, or would you rather before I go?
Which is better for you? Do you want me to talk to you before or after?
Well, either way, I have to have that done. So maybe I
Okay,
can call you on my way out
okay,
there
that sounds
because I've got
awesome.
about an hour drive.
Oh, perfect. Yep.
Okay.
So jot down any questions you have, any concerns, what your strategy is to get going, and then we're going to put your plan together. because the point of this is for you to, get your product coming to you so that when you do your perfect and your power start in the virtual and in person, you have products on hand. Because also too, that's important because if people know that you're a business owner, they're going to refer people to you that want a consultant that has products on hand. And when they run low or they want Christmas gifts, which are cash and carry, like I want to set you up in the most likely situation to be successful in making this $300 a week. So I'm going to give you a call, or you're going to give me a call around your meetings at 6, so between 5 and 6.
Yes.
And I will be ready to answer any questions. And then if we need to talk on your drive home, we'll get that taken care of, because then it's just full steam ahead and resourcing you so you know what to say, who to say it to, and figure out then who we're also going to be talking to about the opportunities so that we have all the streams of income working for you.
Okay.
That
All right.
sound good?
That sounds good. Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. I'll talk to you between 5 and 6.
Okay, great. Thank you, Dawn.
You're welcome. Okay. So you guys, I'm going to wrap this up, but that gives you an idea. The stuff I told you about supply chain, I'd probably talk to a new person about if she's asking about that. You don't need to say any more to a person about inventory than she needs to know. So you don't have to have this long drawn out, everything on them, just like the opportunity. What do you need to know? If we only had 5 minutes, what would you need to know to make a $130 decision? She only needs to know what she needs to know. And it's not what you need to know. So people who have a high need for detail feel like they have to give new recruits a lot of detail. And if you're someone that doesn't deal with a lot of detail, you don't give as much detail. Like, you can tell if people are DISC, right? By the questions they're asking. And not that you pigeonhole people, but you're supposed to mirror them when you're coaching them, especially in the beginning. And so, if Debbie Moore would have sat there and done this long, drawn out, hour-long presentation before I was talking about inventory, it's like, that makes it seem like a far bigger deal than it needs to be. We're talking about $1,800. So that's something to evaluate too. Are you delivering information, how that person best, and there's lots of DISC on Mary Kay in Touch and just out there. So what you are, and you are in your skincare classes and in the orientation, getting them started process, mirroring them. I also want to talk about inflation, because when I started in 1800 was enough for a power start. And 1800 is no longer enough for a power start, because we have $225 skincare sets. And when I started, the skincare set was $35. So just like the power start is 50 to 60 faces, if you're calling a power start 30 faces, that's got to change. If you're talking about 1800, like a star order, like it's a big fat deal, that's got to change, because a 3600 is 10 skincare sets. It's 10 roll-up bags. That's it. And it's nothing else. With 3600, we got them some of everything in the line. Not with the supplements we have now, not with clinical solutions, not with 4 or 5 different skincare lines and our foundations, no longer. And so in 1800, honestly, is get my feet wet, I'm scared, or I may not have great credit. A 600 is personal use. A 225, I don't even know what that is. That's like my elbows and toes. Really, I'm going to help you out because I need an active person. That's it. So really a 3600 is a perfect start. 4800 is a power start. 7200 is a job for inventory levels in this economy. Depending on what people do, obviously, again, time frames need to be short. I'm not talking to Lisa next Monday about it. I'm talking to her today. The shorter the time frame from the inventory conversation to the decision, the more likely it is that she's going to stay excited and move forward. The more time there is, the more time there is for fear to grow. Also, her to get opinions of people who have no idea what they're talking about. So all the way through the recruiting process and the orientation process, time frame short, as short as possible. And you always want to leave a conversation knowing when the next conversation is and what the expectations are of that. because then she knows, like, and you know, if she doesn't play ball with you, that's a sign of soil condition and uncoachability. If I'm not clear, I don't know what her ambiguity means. It could just mean that she didn't know what to do next because I wasn't clear on that. So you guys, I hope that that is helpful. You can re-listen to this, you can reevaluate it. And again, the next 10 inventory conversations, you can re-listen to this so that it's evaluated practice. Because practice does not make practice does not make perfect, it makes permanent. We want evaluated practice. Okay, thank you and welcome, Lisa, to the Mary Kay business. I think you're going to be a superstar. I can see you driving a pink, fluffy Cadillac one day.
Well, thank
Okay,
you. I'm
guys, I will
excited.
see you soon.